Kappa warriors, today is a good day to learn about dinosaurs. And thank you to I'm at Soup for subscribing. Sleepy, I have good news for you. The Ankylosaurus is included here. And welcome to Jurassic, Triassic, and Cretaceous Park. I did say those out of order. I apologize. In other news, today we hit lucky 7,777 subs. Lucky 7777. And so, yes, thank you for that. Thank you all of you for subscribing. And just be a good one. I should have said hold on to your butts. That's much better. Must go faster. Must go faster. When I was a child, I was terrified of the scene where the lawyer gets eaten. I actually wasn't allowed to watch it. I had to close my eyes. It was terrifying. So yes. And Acacia, it's funny. I've found that almost every young child has an interest in dinosaurs and sharks. Boy or girl, they're very interested in dinosaurs and sharks. Some more than others, but all agree they're awesome. So tonight I'll go do an overview. Oh, thank you, 1F5678. My favorite dinosaur is the chicken. Well, we will be discussing relatives of the chicken tonight. So thank you to these dinosaurs for bringing you chicken. I wonder if they tasted like chicken. I think it's likely, although perhaps not like modern chicken that's been bred selectively and all, genetically modified. And so I will do an overview of the what is the word I'm looking for? The Mesozoic eras, which are when the dinosaurs thrived, and then we will discuss specific dinosaurs from each age. I tried to limit it, but it was very difficult. But I mostly did limit it, I think. And then at the end, we'll just discuss some topics of interest. But before we dive in, let's take a look at the fishbowl, check in on the errata. Interesting thoughts, Sleepy. Did they taste better than chicken? I suspect Blue Cthulhu's right. Perhaps they were a bit more gamey. I would anticipate. And there they are. There they are. They themselves are carnivorous, like some of the dinosaurs we'll be discussing. Alright. Keep at it, little ones. And a review of the schedule. Or schedule, I should say. The review of the schedule. Mondays are for gaming. Currently playing Dinkum. And plan to play Dinkum tomorrow. Thursday. Hello, Master Chief. And then Tuesday, karaoke. Yesterday was the premiere. Since the previous Tuesday, the keyboard was not working. I believe I've resolved the audio issue. It was an issue with the specific audio mixer I have, the Go XLR, which had out-of-date... well, it's complicated, but I downloaded a new app which should resolve the problem. I also restarted my computer, and since I was working on the audio, let me know if there's any problems tonight with the audio. If you're having any trouble hearing or anything like that. Wednesdays, that's today. Class with Dr. Export. We've talked about speech pathology. We've talked about the Tudors. We've talked about... what was last week? I already forgot. Deep sea creatures, of course. And today is dinosaurs. I think we'll be able to get through all of them, because many of them didn't have very detailed information. Some of them did, but some more than others. Thursday's gaming, as I said, playing Dinkum at the moment. Friday, we'll have guest host for the stream, Nikkei guest host, with this Friday's being chosen by Crown, and she chose Siren. Siren will make her debut. She'll make a splash in streaming. Alright. Let's get into it. So we will start by discussing the periods. So the Mesozoic eras are when the dinosaurs lived. The Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. Something important that happened during the Mesozoic era was Pangea splitting. So here's Pangea. How many of you are familiar with Pangea? Raise your hand. Now, one of the first times I learned about Pangea was when I was maybe 8 years old, and I ate at a restaurant called Pangea. It's in Ashland, Oregon. I was on a family trip. It was delicious. I loved it. We ate there multiple times, and they explained to me what Pangea meant, which is when the Earth was, the continents on Earth were one big mass called Pangea. So you can see them here. Eurasia, North America, South America, Africa, well, India isn't a continent, but irrelevant, Antarctica, and Australia. And so it was one big mass, one supercontinent, if you will. Very good, Gamma. Very good, Gabriel. And then, during these eras, it split and further divided, which you can see in this very helpful image here. So Pangea split during the, let me check my notes. During the Triassic, it split into Laurasia and Gondwana. That was the first time it split into generally two pieces, which gave rise to the North Atlantic Ocean. Then it further split apart, and eventually became what we know today. And I believe they're still moving further apart. Very interesting, isn't it? Called Continental Drift, and I believe there's an Ice Age movie about that, although not sure that makes a whole lot of sense. Another picture here. So, starting with the Triassic era. Master Chief, I don't know which country you meant, but let's leave it ambiguous because we can all think you meant our own country. So, Pangea split during the Mesozoic eras, which impacted the climate and the vegetation, which very greatly influenced the evolution and diversification of the dinosaurs. And that's a good question, Master Chief. I believe I've heard something like that as well, which our friend Khan just mentioned. So, the Triassic was 252 up until 201 million years ago. So, very long time ago. And during the Triassic, the beginning of the Triassic, it was still Pangea, and then around 200 million years ago, it split into the two general pieces, which you can see here, becoming what we know today. The climate was most likely hot and dry, desert-like, so the reptiles evolved and thrived because reptiles have porous skin and better kidneys for water retention. So towards the end of the Triassic period, earthquakes and volcanoes near the end of the era caused this split, moved it apart. And then, there near the end of the Triassic, was a great extinction. And the dinosaurs survived. Many other species died out, but the dinosaurs survived, thrived, diversified, and increased in number. Yes, there is an Ice Age movie. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead here. So then, during the Jurassic period, 201 to 145 million years ago, during this time, the climate and everything allowed for lush vegetation to thrive, which led to an increase in the plant-eating dinosaurs. And there was a great supply of plants for these dinosaurs, which led to the giant sauropods evolving, which we will discuss further later. And the temperature was a bit lower than the Triassic period, and there was more rain, which gave rise to the plants, including ones such as ferns and horsetails, as well as tall conifer trees like sequoias and monkey puzzle. And I took a chance to put up a picture of a monkey puzzle tree because I have encountered one of these trees before. They are incredibly painful, and I'll show you why. I was helping someone with their gardening, and they had one of these trees. And by God, don't approach this tree. I was trying to get past the tree to reach the hose, and it stabbed the shit out of me. Bloody hell. Don't go near the monkey puzzle tree. I got an up-close picture here. Can you see? These are knife sharp. It's extremely painful. Horrifying. And then, yes, the, what was I saying? Also ferns and the horsetails. I got this picture to show you the ferns. And, we still have ferns today, of course. And then the horsetails, look at these fellows. I remember reading about these the other day, but I can't remember why. Oh well. Then the next period was the Cretaceous, 145 to 66 million years ago. Charlemagne, I'd agree with you, these plants are quite cool. I mean, the monkey tree, as painful and terrifying it's incredible. Anyway, the Cretaceous, up to 66 million years ago, the continents began to separate even further, which led to more separation of the dinosaurs. They were separated more by the land, which led to greater separation of evolution and more diversification. And so, this also led to the sauropods getting bigger, creating the titanosaurs, such as the Patagotitan, which was 37.5 meters long. Con, we don't take eating advice from Snow White. 37.5 meters long. I believe I have a picture later. Then, something very special about the Cretaceous period is also that the flowering plants emerged, which led to the insect groups appearing, including the bees. Thank you to the flowers. Also, snakes emerged, and more mammals appeared, including tree climbing, ground-dwelling mammals, as well as mammals that were predators of small dinosaurs. Another important note is that during the Cretaceous, the sea levels repeatedly rose and fell, leading to a buildup of chalk, which is where we get some of the chalk from today, and where the name Cretaceous comes from the chalk. And speaking of Jurassic Park, do you want to hear what I've added to my soundboard? The correct answer is yes. Get ready, it's spooky. All right. What did you think? Waiting for feedback. I know you're all typing furiously. Could you hear it? I assume so, given your comment, Sleepy. All right, moving on to our dinosaur specifics. Right, let me get to my page. Oh, more horsetails. They look more like elephant tails, I would say, almost. I don't know. Anyway, first on our list. Excuse me, goodness. Triassic period. Triassic era. Dinosaurs first appear in the fossil record 240 million years ago. They were small, well, relatively small, and bipedal. And Acacia, you're all welcome to add soundboard files in the Discord that I can put as well. Ah, Khan, good point. You could make maybe some death tea out of that monkey's puzzle. Alright, and then 228 million years ago, the pterosaurs arrived, so the dinosaurs took to the sky. More or less. And then after this emergence of dinosaurs, 240 million years ago, they seem to have evolved into two main groups. The Ornithocelida and the Saurischia. So two main groups. This is the Styracosaurus, which means southern cross lizard. This was during the early Triassic period and was found in Brazil and was one of the earliest dinosaurs that we have identified so far. Oh, thank you. The Berserk Fury. Is that a real dinosaur, or are you referencing How to Train Your Dragon? I agree, Keiki-chin, we should. Well, I'm sorry for mistaking the pterosaurs. I apologize. I misread. Anyway, Styracosaurus. Moving on, look at this fellow, the Coelophysis. Coelophysis, the term means zooid. Ah, okay. Anyway, Ah, the dinosaur embryo fossil. Yes, Con. I wanted to add that. I remember Zoids, but I don't want to admit it or you'll think I'm old. And Con, yes, I'd like to get to that at the end, because I was looking into that, but I ran out of time. Anyway, the Coelophysis meant hollow form, which referred to its hollow bones, like a bird. And it's believed the hollow bones gave it a light form and agility. And it was able to rely on speed and agility to catch insects and small reptiles. They had sharp teeth and grasping claws, and were found in South Africa, the United States of America, and Zimbabwe. Alright. Yes, Master Chief, I mean, it's kind of true. They are trying to resurrect previously extinct animals, and personally, I think it's a mistake. This is blurry, but I like to include these as much as possible to show the reference of the size. God of Wills, not today. I had to limit it. I barely had enough time to finish my notes on all the dinosaurs, as it was. All right. We'll see if I do have time. Yes, I heard that, Master Chief. I think they need to stop doing that. It's just a Pandora's box. All right, this one's a bit blurry as well. This is the Plateosaurus. Plateosaurus means flat lizard. Perhaps referring to its teeth? I don't know. It had grinding teeth and a horned beak. You can see the horn a bit there. Do I have another? No, that's a different one. It had 5-fingered hands. Look at that. How creepy is that? And a large thumb claw. Do you see the thumb? God of Wolves, I'm okay with more wolves in the world. That's not my problem. My problem is reintroducing things that have been gone. We can't imagine what that could happen. We're not God. We can't play God. Can't play God. God. Anyway, it's believed that Plateosaurus may have lived in herds. And true, Master Chief. And it was found in France, Germany, and Switzerland. Remember, everyone, only Ether can play God. So Plateosaurus, much larger, you see here. Also during the Triassic period. Let's see. This is the first of our Jurassic dinosaurs. And they are... This is the Dilophosaurus, which meant two-crested lizard, and the name two-crested refers to these two crests on the top of its head. And they were found in the United States of America, and were covered with hard keratin, and keratin is the substance that's also in our fingernails and our hair. Charlemagne, clearly they tasted good enough to eat, good enough to go extinct, but perhaps just because of the ease of supplying them. Like eating ants if you're stranded on an island. So keratin, the keratinized skin. It's unknown the exact size and shape of the crests, because there's only so much that remains. We can't be certain what else was there that has not survived. And we're not certain what they were used for. Something to mention about this creature as well. In Jurassic Park, the film, it's depicted as having a frilled neck and spitting poison. But there's no evidence that is true. It was something that Dr. Crichton added. And perhaps related to how those dinosaurs were conceived. So good news for Dennis Nedley, right? Nedley? So good news for him. Additionally, it had a distinctive jaw. It had a large upper jaw with a notch causing a gap in the teeth. It was likely an active hunter, good at running down prey, and may have had feathers. Some evidence. We're still uncertain. Yes, he's dead, but he wouldn't have been if it was more historically accurate. wait a minute. Oh. Next is the Megalosaurus, which was from the mid-Jurassic. Megalosaurus, as you may have guessed... Well, who would like to guess what Megalosaurus means? Any guesses? Oh, interesting, Master Chief. That's what it did in the book versus the movie. Ah, interesting. Nedley, thank you. And... Mega, yes, any guess? A big lizard. There you go, Austin. Yes, that was the dog, not a dinosaur. Anyway, this is an interesting image that I found, which is talking about... So when it was first found, it was one of the first dinosaurs ever found. They found it in England and the United Kingdom. And imagine when they first found this, they had nothing to compare it to. They were like, what the hell is this? The funny thing is they named it Big Lizard because, of course, they had no reference point, being one of the first ever found. But in fact, it's actually much smaller than many other kinds of dinosaurs. So, by no means the biggest. Medium, perhaps. But it's interesting because this is first what they speculated. Then they thought, well, perhaps more like this, and now this is a more recent, based on additional details that have been found. By the way, Zephyr, how's your pup? And so, yes. Megalosaurus. Back to my notes. Yes, that's all I have on it. Quite interesting, though. I like to imagine when they first found this, they must have been like, what the hell? They had no clue. They didn't know about dinosaurs yet. I wonder perhaps what they thought. Was it a dragon? What kind of ferocious beast could it have been? Oh, that's so sweet, Zephyr. This here is Yinlong, also from the mid-Jurassic. Its face kind of makes me laugh. It reminds me of that meme from a while back. Master Chief, I agree. I very much believe that, as well as perhaps myths from when a creature was seen in another land, and then they came back and had nothing else to compare it to. And so look at this Yinlong. He's so funny. Mid-Jurassic, it's the earliest known ceratopsian. So, you know, relative of Triceratops. You can see it starting to get its little top there, as it were. And it was found in China, as you may have guessed from the name. Oh, and did I tell you the name means hidden dragon? Which goes with our theory. Yes, Master Chief, it must have been like finding aliens almost. I would imagine they were terrified. It's a fascinating... It would make an interesting movie, don't you think? Another one of the Yinlong. Isn't it cute? Well, not really, but, you know. Right, moving on to the late Jurassic. Many more. This is when there were many more dinosaurs. Much more details as well. This is the Allosaurus, which means other lizard, or different lizard, found in the United States of America. Not anymore, thankfully. What would we have done? I agree, God of Wolves. It would be an interesting future class topic. This, myths and their potential origins. Especially this. It's fascinating for other things too, such as mermaids, unicorns. Anyway. Master Chief, I wholeheartedly believe that the Loch Ness Monster was a plesiosaur. Anyway, the Allosaurus. Back to my notes. Found in the USA, it had 3-fingered hands. And look at those claws. And horns above its eyes. Uncertain the purpose of the horns, possibly for protection of the eyes. And it hunted plant-eating dinosaurs. Look how large it was. Even bigger than this, what is this, a Shiba? I mean a Shiba, what am I saying? I meant to say a Malamute. Look at this length. 25 to 35 feet. Interesting, Master Chief. Weakest bite force. So, yes. A large, fearsome predator with immense muscular jaws and long, serrated teeth for eating flesh. Now we're getting to some of the ones that excite me. I love... Look at this. Enchionis, which means near bird. Yes, not a Sheba. I think it was a Malamute. Or a Husky. Look at this bird. It's incredible. This is also from the late Jurassic and found in China. It was believed to be crow size and feathered. Truly, truly feathered. It had wing feathers on both its arms. You see its wing arms here, and on its back legs, you see down here. So, we're uncertain about how these leg feathers worked, and it's unknown if it truly flew or more glided around. Kind of like jumping glides. Perhaps it glided and these back feathers helped with that? Uncertain. Charlemagne, the question of dinosaurs tasting like chickens shockingly has already been brought up. I did not anticipate that. It had curved claws. See these here? Possibly for the purpose of climbing trees. And something else interesting is it, when it ate, it created gastric pellets. Which is when it creates this thing in its stomach, when it digests and then throws it up, much like owls. Owls also create gastric pellets as part of the digestion, and this is the earliest relative of birds known to do this. The part that gets me so excited that I nearly cry, and I'm not joking, when I was working on this, I nearly cried, it makes me tear up, is that we know a little about the color of Enchionis. It gets me emotional because it's incredible that we can actually have technology and well enough preserved specimens that we can determine the colors. And this is fairly accurate. It's believed that it was, well, based on the analysis, black and white, or black and gray, and then it had reddish brown feathers on the head, and one of them was identified as having reddish speckles, brown speckles on the face. Isn't that incredible? So this I get very excited about. I remember reading, I believe I read years ago when they first were determining the colors, the pigments in the feathers, and I think I might have actually cried. Yes, DM, owls are just following tradition. Their ancestors started it, and they will continue it. Incredible, no? Let's just stare at this for a while. Did I have another picture? No, this is a different one. Sorry. Getting a sip of water. Handsome lad? Who's the handsome lad? Think I missed something. Oh, you're referring to the bird? This, I mean, obviously it's an illustration, but I chose the illustration because we do know for this as well the color of the feathers. Archaeopteryx, my other beloved dinosaur. I love the flying ones. Also from the late Triassic. I mean, wait. Jurassic, from the late Jurassic. Don't worry, Zephyr, the T-Rex is near the end. So from the late Triassic and found in Germany. And it has been found to have many long feathers and to be about the size of a magpie. And the feathers, it had broad feathered wings and was likely diurnal, like most of today's birds. So it was awake during the day and slept at night. God of Wolves, much from research and much from my own readings, because I do regularly read about history on a wide variety of topics. My Google feed has figured out that I enjoy that. And then, it had sharp teeth, unlike birds today. It had sharp teeth and a long bony tail. Look at this tail, quite long. They also depicted it on Enchionis. Yes, I had it right. And then we also know about the color of Archaeopteryx, thank you to modern technology, modern scanning. And so they were jet black. We know they were jet black. Next, the Brachiosaurus. I really had to pare down the dinosaurs from the Jurassic, the late Jurassic, and the Cretaceous period because there were just too many to choose from and I was running out of time. Excuse me, my throat. Brachiosaurus. So, Brachiosaurus, which means arm lizard. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Enchionis means near bird, and Archaeopteryx means ancient wing. Brachiosaurus. Wait, Brachiosaurus? Is that what you're saying? Brachiosaurus? Am I saying it wrong, Charlemagne? Brachiosaurus means arm lizard. Also from the late Jurassic, found in the United States of America. And they fed on leaves from tall trees. And it's believed that they swallowed the leaves whole. They didn't chew them. They swallowed them whole. And then used hindgut fermentation. Yes, a long neck, DM, indeed. A long neck. We don't talk about Land Before Time, though. It is the most upsetting movie of all time. Or among the most. And, they, what was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Oh, so they swallowed the leaves whole, and they used hindgut fermentation to digest them, which is also what rabbits and elephants use today. And yes, there is another, it reminds you of a giraffe, which is funny because there's another dinosaur similar called Giraffantitis, I believe. And no, Zephyr, don't mention it again. I will kick you out. Do you want me to cry? Maybe you do. Anyway, look how large it was. The length, 82 feet. Height, 39 feet. Look how it towers. I wish they had something taller on here. Some kind of building to make me see just how tall it was. On my notes, it said found in the United States, but this says also Africa and Europe. Smell them from miles away. Oh, because of the hindgut fermentation? I think you're likely right. Cow burps? Well, that's not the same. They don't use they're ruminants, but whatever. And then I have this picture too. For the rest of these, I have several of these illustrations because I love these. And maybe I'm ridiculous, but these illustrations, these recreations with like the landscape, these also make me tear up. They get me emotional because I just get so, I don't know what it is that makes me emotional about the idea of being able to see it. I feel that way about ancient history as well. Many types of ancient history and prehistory. And this just, I don't know. I look at it and tears well up in my eyes. Perhaps it's just me. But this is also Brachiosaurus. She's gorgeous. On to the Stegosaurus. Con, it's interesting. There was one dinosaur I was reading that they usually moved in herds, but that for this particular one, they had not found evidence of it being in herds. But I can't remember if it was Brachiosaurus or a different one. What's wrong, Charlemagne? A bug? Anyway, Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus, which means roof lizard. And I suppose that must be referring to the plates. I don't know. Also from the late Jurassic. Also from North America. And, I mean, look at it. It had a powerful spiked tail. Look at these spikes. And bony plates along the back. And it was interesting. These plates apparently were not part of the skeleton, but fused into the skin, which means that the plates are typically found separate from the rest of the skeleton. So interesting. And then, there was something else I read. Something about the blood vessels. There was an excellent blood supply for these, I believe. If I'm remembering correctly. And then, my favorite part is, look at this head. Look at the rest of this body. If you were to just cover the head... I'm covering it with my hand, but you can't see. I'll cover it with my head. Can I do that? No, she won't do it. If you were to cover the head, or even the neck, you'd imagine a much larger, and then you see it, and oh, well, look at that little thing. And, so the brain, as you can imagine, there's not much room for a brain. And so its brain was the size of a plum. Which, Master Chief, I would say matches Spike's character, no? Charlemagne Triceratops is part of it, don't worry. We're going by era and alphabetized. So yes, larger than a peanut, but size of a plum. Maybe a very large peanut. Poor little guy. But I guess he didn't need a large brain. He was an herbivore, snacking on leaves just like Spike. And here's the recreation, try not to cry. It's beautiful, and the greenness. There's nothing I love more than a landscape like this, where it's just green and green and green and shades of green. True, Charlemagne. But they're not small in proportion to their body, but, Charlemagne, I agree with you. I've always argued that small brain doesn't necessarily mean stupid. Smooth brain, perhaps, but maybe that's offensive. Alright. Who's ready to move to the Cretaceous? Let me know when you're ready. I'll take a sip of water. Alright. Let's go. Moving on to the Cretaceous. First is the Microraptor. Look at this. I guess it's good out of context isn't here. Because look at this. Microraptor. It's from the early Cretaceous. And found in China. Likely could fly. It's believed it could fly. And we know that it had shiny black feathers. So yes, Zephyr. It's essentially a dino crow. Look at that. Fearsome. It just gets me so emotional. It just makes me feel like life is continuous. And when humans... I have a book called, oh shoot. I forgot what it's called. But it just makes me emotional about life and how long the Earth has existed. And it being continuous and us all being part of a greater chain on this Earth. From before, during, and after. Anyway, I don't need to wax philosophic. What the hell was this? Oh, the I messed this one up. Give me a moment. Patagotitan. I believe that's it. Patagotitan. This is blurry. That's better. The Patagotitan, I included it just because it's one of the largest dinosaurs there ever was. Found in Argentina. And I believe also during the early Cretaceous period. 1F56878, I do not believe that lizard would be okay, but maybe he's just coming to pick him up to hang out. They're going to Netflix and chill, but, you know, the non-sexual way. So yes, the Patagotitan. This place looks familiar. Have I been here? I think I might have seen this. When I was in Illinois. Anyway, just included it because it's large. Where am I? Oh, and I liked this too. Comparing it, we've got the polar bear, the giraffe, the white rhino. That's a white rhino. No, this is a white rhino. What the hell? African elephant. Wait, why are these polar bear, giraffe, African elephant? Why did they not put them in order that they're displayed? Anyway. And there it is. And look at those little babies down there. It is the Chicago Museum. Yes, then I believe I did see that. Ah, another one. I guess I'm really obsessed with these. Elephants like, whoa. Alright. Oh. This is in honor of our friend Zephyr. This is called the Zephyrosaurus. And I have little to no information on it. for today. But this is Zephyrosaurus, included exclusively in Zephyr's honor. Zephyrosaurus means west wind lizard. It was from the early Cretaceous and found in the United States of America. Look at this beautiful complete skeleton. This is it as well. I like the look on its face. It looks rather feminine. I don't know what it is. The face looks feminine to me. Alright. The Ankylosaurus. Sleepy, you still here? Ankylosaurus means fused lizard. I'd like to pet this thing, wouldn't you? I mean, perhaps while it sleeps. It is herbivorous, though. So, this is the Ankylosaurus from the late Cretaceous, found in North America, the United States, and Canada. It had a heavy club on the tail. Look at that. It looks like it just has a boulder, a rock fused to its tail. Must have been excellent for defense, I would imagine, because they were herbivorous. So, they didn't eat meat, but presumably this was helpful for defense. So yes, don't let it whack ya. Don't piss it off. And then, what was I going to say? Yes, herbivorous. Ankylosaurus is very often included in the children's books. I try to include all the dinosaurs that frequent the children's books and programs. Ankylosaurus is typically there, as was Stegosaurus, Brachiosaurus, and then I would say, probably Archaeopteryx. Okay, the next one, Charlemagne, I'm glad you're here, so you will enjoy this with me. Oh, wait, here's the recreation. Oh, this one's so lifelike. I need a moment. Blacklight, a Gen stream is possible if I'm feeling a little extra evil. Just to evil up my accent. Yes, Master Chief. They are prey animals. Yes. Defense. So look at this lifelike recreation. Ah, even the water. Oh. Okay, moving on. Ah, another lifelike recreation. Okay, Charlemagne, can you guess why I have included this? This is a Hadrosaurus. Can you guess? I'll be tremendously disappointed if you can't. Hadrosaurus meant big lizard. Again, not so very big, but you know. Oh, Charlemagne, please. All right. You want to go back to the Zephyrosaurus? Did you want this one or the bones? I'm giving you 1 more minute, Charlemagne. Yes, Charlemagne! I knew it! I knew it! It was going to damage our friendship. Okay, so Hadrosaurus, I only included it. It's from the late Cretaceous. And, found in the United States of America. And I included it because, look at this. There is an episode of Star Trek Voyager. I can't even get through this. Where there was this highly evolved species with advanced technology advanced beyond that of the Federation. And I can't go into the whole episode, it would take a lot of time, but their religion basically says they were the first in their area, but basically it is determined, there's a scientist working to determine if their species came from one back on Earth, and it's determined that yes, these dinosaurs this species in the Delta Quadrant, this space-dwelling species, spacefaring species, they came from hadrosaurs who evolved and then left Earth on spaceships. Yes, this is a real episode. Ended up in the Delta Quadrant and evolved into these dino humanoids with advanced technology. Yes, DM, I was very thrilled to have the opportunity. So yes, this is a real episode. There's also an episode that says that Native Americans encountered aliens, back years ago. It's not the worst episode. Neither of those is the worst episode. Yes, Charlemagne. Whose bodies are it again? It's, what's his name? He's in several episodes. Anyway, moving on to... Do you hear my drum roll? Triceratops! Here's the Triceratops, which means three-horned face. I think you could have guessed that. And the Triceratops was found in the United States of America. Also from the late Cretaceous period. It had this frill. Look at the beautiful frill, just like Sarah from the movie that shall not be named. Look at this. I love that the frill has the spikes as well, the horns. It was a plant eater and was not related to rhinoceroses. So yes. Triceratops. Another image. Ooh, this one's ugly. Oh well. Three-horned face, 30 feet, a massive herbivore with a bony neck frill, and three face horns. It was one of the last and most numerous of dinosaurs. Zephyr, what did I say? This is your last warning. I have to take the ruler to you. Alright, moving on to the Tyrannosaurus Rex. This means tyrant lizard, which I think is humorous. Why does it mean tyrant lizard? I mean, I suppose it was an appropriate name, given that it would be able to be the lord of all others. So it was found in Canada and the United States, so North America. Now, what made it a tyrant? Well, besides being large, it had 60 teeth, 8 inches long. 8 inches, men. 8 inches long. Yes, the lily-wise of dinos. 8 inches long. 60 of them, and with a bite force 3 times more powerful than that of a lion. Incredible. Indeed, Con. Most iconic dinosaur ever. The one that every child knows. From 12 months on, practically. 300 pounds. I wish my small arms could lift 300 pounds, but still working on 50 pounds. I mean, I can lift 50 pounds, of course. But I'd like to be able to lift it a little more easily. Yes. 8 inches. That's about the length of... What's something that's 8 inches? Don't know. No one. I opened myself up to potential comments. So yes. Sharp tooth. 8-inch teeth. Moving on, because we're almost out of time. Look at this. 12 meters. Large. Toothy. How did it lift anything that was 300 pounds? Like with those... How did it lift with those hands? Alright. Almost out of time. Moving on to the Velociraptor. This is a more recent... Con, alright, I'll admit it. I mean, I'll allow it. I'll permit it. Only the legendary commander could make such a claim. Alright. And have me believe it, that is. So, the Velociraptor, which means quick plunderer, found in Mongolia, likely had feathers. There are several dinosaurs that may have had feathers. Some we know for sure, some we're still determining, but this likely had feathers. And it's noted that the Velociraptor is smaller than what was pictured in the movie. So yes. Then, that's all I have for tonight. I wanted to cover a few other topics. Plesiosaurs, they were not dinosaurs. Like pterosaurs, they were not dinosaurs, but I also found them fascinating. So here's a recreation of some plesiosaurs. It's fascinating to me to read about how long some of these were. Because imagine, how did they swim about the ocean being so long? But so almost serpent-like. So here's Nessie, a plesiosaur. So quite beautiful, if you ask me. And then I also included this. This is something that amuses me. Sometimes people create recreations of what they think dinosaurs may have looked like if we could see more about their skin and their fat and their feathers and fur. So, I got some of these. Dinosaurs. Theoretical recreations. These are all theoretical. Look at this. This one. Look at this. It looks like a... What bird is that? I actually hate that one. But that one's neat. Oh, I like this one. Look at this. Like a cute little chick. Fuzz. Isn't it neat? A piece of dinosaur skin. Yes, I was reading about that, Master Chief. I wanted to talk about the dinosaur embryo, dinosaur eggs, dinosaur skin, but I didn't have time to get to all of it. Well, that's awfully cute. I'd like to have this. Here's another one. It's just fascinating to think about. What more could they have had that wasn't preserved? Look at this monstrosity. So who knows? It's fascinating to me to think, what could they possibly have looked like that we just can't know? Kind of like with the paleontology of humans, the ancient humans, prehistoric humans, is we don't know much about what things they might have made, structures they may have created, or clothing, because of course it wasn't preserved the earliest. So, I also... Oh, while we have time, we need to decide. Let's vote on a subject for next week. Next week's class. Alright, let's propose some. Narrow it down. We'll narrow it down to 3 and vote, but start putting out some topics. Anyone? Topics. We discussed last week the possibility of mythology or the seductions of Zeus. Well, Zeus did the seductions. Yes, Keiki Chim, it was hard enough. Ah, sharks. Yes, I remember, Zephyr. Sharks. We'll put sharks as one of the 3. Time and space. Keiki Chim, that's too large. We'll do 4 options. We'll do the Zeus one. Zeus/mythology. We'll do sharks. Let's determine 2 more. Life before dinosaurs. Like that. Astronomy. Okay. How about astronomy? Yes, space and stars. String theory. Gosh. Like a cosmic stream. No, that's a completely different phenomenon. Charlemagne, you get that reference? Okay, we'll do... Okay, Vikings. Let's see. Let's narrow it down, friends. Canine history. How interesting. Yes, sharks and mythology were big last week, so I'll include those today. Sharks, Zeus. We'll do astronomy. Whatever I can fit in of that. Let's decide on 1 more. One more. Stop making references, Charlemagne. You cut me deep. That cuts me deep. Alright. Things found in bogs. Alright, Thang Train. I'm gonna go with Thang Train because it branches off of some of the other topics. We will go with early life on Earth. And that will set us up for future. CBT, do you mean cognitive behavioral therapy? The poll's in the chat. Keiki Chim, the birth of mankind, we will definitely include that in the future. Because that's one of my favorite topics. I love the idea of multiple sapien species being on Earth at the same time and interacting with each other. Look at this one. It's just an adorable little baby. You might have it as a pet. Mosquitoes, no thank you, Charlemagne. Master Chief, go ahead and post your question. Comment. So far, it's between Zeus and astronomy. Zeus is winning. To no one's surprise. At least that's what Zeus would say. Yes, Charlemagne, does that mean you won't want to be present if it's full of innuendo? I know how they offend you. You prefer your Nikes straight-laced. Oh wait, does that sound bad? You prefer them pure and modest. How about that? Ooh, con. Ugh. In the history of Olympus, you mean... Yes. I thought you said the Olympics, and I was like, no. The of Olympus, yes. If I can fit it in. I'll fit in as much as I can. That's what he said. Alright, I'm about to call it. That sounds fantastic, 1F5678. I will look for that. Yes, God of Wills, I'm sure they do, but I couldn't fit that in with mythology. Alright. Zeus wins at 39%. Alright. So Zeus next week. I'm looking forward to this. I'm sorry, Redacted, but don't worry. It'll be on the poll next week. That's what she said? Anyway, I mean, if this doesn't go well. Backup plan. Yes, don't worry, Master Chief. These all stay on the list and we'll make the rounds again. Why is my eye so twitchy? Alright, anyway, tomorrow playing Dinkum. And then, Friday, Siren will be here. And I'll be practicing and listening all of Thursday and Friday. Alright, Master Chief, please console yourself. Space can come around. It will happen. I think I missed your Siren question, Master Chief. Give me a moment. Where was it? Going back. Oh, have my pulls for Siren... How have they been going, and have I finished Story 2? I used gold tickets, and yes, I did finish 2. Yes, Blue Cthulhu, Sharks lost again. Most likely, Sharks or Zeus was going to lose again. Thang Train, yes, Siren impression for Friday. I'm working on my trembly voice. And yes, alright. See you all tomorrow for Dinkum and discussion of whatever we desire. Much rum.